Okay, so Cinco de Mayo. I was at work and I happened to ask my coworker, like, oh, what are you doing? And she was just like, oh, nothing much. And I was like, oh, okay, that's reasonable. There's really no reason to do it. And I asked my other coworker, who happened to be a straight American, like she was here like most of her life, and she told me she was going home to have Mexican food and margaritas. And I looked at her, I was like, huh, well, if that's what you're doing, what am I doing wrong? Because I'm just going home to sleep, right? So to start off, I'd like to share some insight on how immigration should be accepted instead of being seen as a burden. So according to the 2008 census, 11.6 million of the population consist of illegal immigrants. And most of us are like, oh, well, why are they here? Most of us have different kinds of views. I mean, if we're losing jobs, education, and other stuff to them, why would we want them here? Which are some people think. But that 11.6 million of the population breaks down to 61% of the immigrants coming from Mexico, 14% from El Salvador, Guatemala, Brazil, and Ecuador, 8% from India, Korea, China, and Philippines, which from a website a massive economic development boom. But instead of seeing those as a burden, we should see those as diversity. What are they bringing to this country that we didn't have originally? Which is a lot. And to start off, the first thing they would bring would be language. So Spanish being the number one language being taught now and spoken of would go a long way, because not only is it being like naturally brought to us because we have to come in contact with those kinds of things on our daily basis, but those are also brought to us as requirements from jobs and from school. Not only would that be from a job, but like if you were going to get a job and you were bilingual, you have more to bring to the table than someone who would not be able to communicate with those other people. And secondly would be school. School now, to get into like a higher Ivy League or other college, university as it be, what recommends that you need at least 3 years in a certain language. Secondly would be, or my second topic would be education. The United States has a bigger education than something we'd be able to find out of state, or out of the country, ranging from Mexico. So immigrants come to the United States to better their education and to get a better understanding of what's going on. So illegal immigrants come to this land to better prosper themselves and to take advantage of what they have in front of them. When certain Americans just happen to just throw it away, they don't see it, they don't take full advantage of the opportunities in front of them. Mexicans, immigrants on the other hand, have the DREAM Act, which allows students which excel in the future goals, and it grants them the best opportunity to get a better education possible, which is from the illegal immigrants and the United States and the U.S. economy. Okay, jobs, which is the biggest view that a lot of people have, that they're losing their job to immigrants that happen to probably be, that they have their job, that they should have that job because they were here first, when not honestly most people that are originally here first, that are American, do not want to work those hard labor jobs with low pay. When Mexicans take advantage of it and have it and make the most of it, instead of they make the most out of what they have. In 2008, 40% of the immigrants obtained jobs in brick, block, stone, masonry, 31 rotor position, and 28 dishwasher, and 21 parking. And the website I got that from was How Does Illegal Immigrants Hurt the Economy? The third belief most people see on undocumented immigrants is how they are hurting the economy and how they're stealing money from the government. This is proven false by the New York Times, who made an investigation on it, which says undocumented immigrants have contributed close to 10% of Social Security Trust Fund, which breaks down to almost $30 billion. And if the immigrants are giving that much back, how could they possibly be ruining or just like bringing down the economy? And on top of that, 90% of their earnings from those jobs goes back to the economy. Lastly, I would like to leave you with with something. If immigrants are not being a burden and are rather coming and contributing to the economy that are all surrounded by, why not open up the U.S. borders and let anyone else who's willing to come in and enrich this land?
Stella, what did you think?
So I thought the example in the beginning, the Cinco de Mayo example, brought a lot of humor to your presentation. It was funny, but I think that you could have possibly tied it in a little more with the presentation. Like for example, say that other people have adapted some of the immigrants' traditions into their life. So I think you could have definitely gotten a lot more out of that. I also thought that you cited most of the things pretty well. I also believe that you could have expanded on some of your your thesis was very clear. But I think in the body of your presentation you could have added more things to just make it stronger. But overall, I think your presentation was pretty well. You looked at the audience, and I felt like you were talking to us instead of reading, so I really appreciated that. But overall, good job.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you about the introduction. I liked the introduction. I liked the attention device. I thought it was interesting, and then it seemed like it was completely disconnected from what you were talking about, so that was a little bit strange. You'd have to work on connecting it a little bit more. There needs to be more of a preview and structure about what's going on and where you're headed in the presentation. I know the general point of view that you have, but how you're going to get there I didn't think was very clearly set up. In the body of the speech you do have some structuring that you're providing us with, and I thought that was okay. There's some good citation of information, although there's kind of inconsistency about causality things. For example, the notion that language diversity or cultural diversity exists only because of illegal immigration, I think ignores long history of legal immigration. So the question is, why is the illegal immigration providing us something more than what we get with illegal immigration? And that's what you need to explain, that the cultures are enriched this way, the economy is strengthened this way. I think you've got the right arguments there, but you failed to distinguish on that first point, the difference between legal and illegal immigration. I ask a lot of questions and some hypotheticals. They're okay. I think the delivery is actually pretty solid. I think you do a good job looking at us and talking to us. Your gestures and nonverbals could be a little bit stronger, but your voice and your audience contact was solid. All right, thank you.